listening to PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. This is your host, Tim Link, and I thank you so much for joining us today. We've got another wonderful guest coming on. We're going to be talking to writer and author of numerous memoirs, Wade Rouse. Wade's going to be here talking to us about his latest book, I'm Not the Biggest Bitch in This Relationship. So got to ask him about that title, because if that doesn't catch your eye, nothing will. So we're looking forward to talking to Wade about the book, as well as talking to him about some of the other memoirs that he's written. Definitely a fantastic, very humorous book, so we're looking forward to that. Before we get started, we'll take a little commercial break, allow our sponsors to tell us all the latest, greatest things that are happening, but we're going to come right back with Wade Rouse. You're listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
Is the coast clear?
Yes, let's go.
Are you sure they went to Petco?
Where else would they go?
Oopsie.
Hey, calm down.
I smell presents.
Go to PetLifeRadio.com/Petco and get up to 40% off hundreds of holiday items at Petco. PetLifeRadio.com/Petco.
Uh-oh, step on it.
Okay.
Oh, not on my tail.
Petco, where the pets go.
Dyson.
The new Dyson Animal Vacs are powerful bagless upright vacuums for homes with pets. Air muscle and radio root cyclone technology generates the strongest suction power to powerfully remove dust, dirt, and pet hair from the home or car. To order your Dyson Animal Vac, go to PetLifeRadio.com/Dyson. PetLifeRadio.com/Dyson to order your Dyson Animal Vac today.
Dyson, music to your ears.
Coast to coast and around the world, it's All Behave with Arden Moore. Find out why cats and dogs do the things they do, and get the latest buzz from wagging tongues and tails in Rin Tin Tinseltown. From famous pet experts and best-selling authors to television and movie stars, you'll get great tail-wagging pet tips and have a fur-flying fun time. All Behave with America's pet edutainer, Arden Moore. Every week on demand. This is the place for a special paparazzi treat. Only on PetLifeRadio.com. Let's talk pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. This is your host, Tim Link, and joining me now is author and humorist Wade Rouse. And Wade's here to talk to us about his latest book, I'm Not the Biggest Bitch in This Relationship. Wade, welcome to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Thanks for having me. Best title ever, right?
It is the best title, so we're going to just jump right on that, because this, like I said, if this doesn't catch your attention to pull it off the shelf and find out what the heck is he talking about, nothing will. So tell us how that title came about.
Quite literally, I had a 14-year-old rescue dog, and this is a humorous anthology with great short stories about people's dogs, and mostly rescue dogs. And the reality was that I had our dog Marge, who passed away in April, and she was able to get out of any crate or kennel whatsoever, any locked door. She was like a doggy MacGyver. And I looked down at her once after she had escaped, and I told her that, I'm not the biggest bitch in this relationship. And I'm like, one day that title will stick. And finally I found a place to use it.
So she gave you the stamp of approval. She may have even telepathically projected that to you. You just never know.
I think she probably did, yeah. It's amazing. And that's, really the title, I think, sums up the entire book, which is, I really wanted to bring out kind of the funnier side of all the pets, the dogs that we love, rather than more of the Marley and me sadness. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to really highlight kind of the neurotic but beautiful relationships that we all share with our pets. And, this book really does that.
It does. And, one of the things I loved about the book is it's not a one-upmanship, but, you have numerous contributors to the book, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But each one has their own unique story. So, you tell yours about Marge, and it's like, oh, that's fantastic. Let me tell you about mine. You think yours is crazy. Let's tell you about the crazy thing that my dog does, or whatever's happened.
And that's true. One thing I love, I've been doing events for the book for the past 3 weeks or so, and have been lucky enough to get all around the country, from New York to Chicago to Milwaukee. And people do just that. They have one story that's better than the ones that we often tell. And I love hearing those. I love people sharing those stories, because that's what I wanted. I wanted all that secret stuff that happens in the house or the car to come into light, so that we all know that we're not, totally insane, that people share our insanity.
Exactly right. And when we're dealing with animals in general, every day it's something new and exciting to them. And if we just reflect on it, we get something new and exciting out of it as well. And it's usually very, very humorous when you look at it.
That's exactly right. I mean, it's interesting because, these books really capture, or the stories in this book really capture a lot of those, kind of minor moments in life that are really so touching with our pets. Like, sharing a, bed space, battling for bed space with your dog, or, as I write in my essay, just kind of inventing this language and voice to speak to your dog. And I think it's things that, the wonderful thing, it's all the stuff that we all do. So I think that's what connects us all, are these stories.
Yeah, and I think that's the way it is generally in life. People can relate to it because it's happened to them. So, it touches their heart in an extra special way, or makes them laugh a little bit harder because they're thinking, oh, my God, that's exactly what my dog does.
That's exactly right. Yeah, Marge had all of her idiosyncrasies, just like we have our idiosyncrasies. A lot of the times I think she would look at me and she's like, you're way more messed up than I am. But it's just, I think that's the wonderful thing about pet ownership.
Yeah, I think it is too. I think they're spot on as well. We think they're wild and crazy, and that we need to look in the mirror more often because we've got our own issues.
Exactly it. Yeah, that's exactly it. Lord knows I have my own.
Exactly. Well, at least you're man enough to admit it.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Now, this is I mentioned a lot of essays in the book. Great collection of writers that have contributed to the book. Many of them are friends of this show, like Bruce Cameron and Allie Larkin. I had to ask you, how did you come about choosing the writers that have submitted for the book, and how did you choose coming about the different stories as well?
It's a great question. When I put this book together, I wanted to do it largely because I grew up in the Missouri Ozarks, and a lot of we lived out in the woods on 10 acres, and my mother was a hospice nurse, and she believed that, prayer and penicillin could pretty much save any soul. And so she tried to rescue a lot of these animals and find homes for them. So, my life has been built around rescue dogs, and that's really why I wanted to do this book, which is kind of honor my mom and the pets in my life. And when I was looking for contributors, I wanted, one, writers I really admired, writers who loved dogs, many of whom had rescue animals, and then writers that could make me laugh. And I feel incredibly blessed. I mean, you mentioned Bruce and Allie, who are two of my favorite writers, and I just, I felt totally blessed that, people like Rita Mae Brown and Beth Harbison and Jill Connor Brown and Jeff Marks, who won the Tony for Avenue Q, Jane Green. There's so many wonderful writers that are a part of this that jumped on board and just loved to tell their stories. I just feel totally blessed from beginning to end.
Yeah, it is a fabulous collection. Well, let's delve into that a little bit further as far as the process. I'm assuming you come up with a list of writers you'd love to contribute. How do you get their attention? How do you, it's not like some of them you may already know. I'm assuming they're not all your personal friends.
I would like to say they are, but no, you're right. They're, I call it, there's a lot of e-begging. So you really kind of you send an email and then get down on your hands and knees and just pray that they'll respond. And, I have to say that things really came together. The foreword in the book is by Chelsea Handler's dog, Chunk.
Right.
Really has a way with a laptop, I've learned. But she really jumped on board at the very beginning and kind of made all of this come together. And I can't thank, her and Chunk and her team enough for getting on board. So I think people really love the premise of this. Let's talk about our animals, but do so in a really upbeat, humorous way instead of kind of a sad, morose way. And each of the contributors also love the fact that they were able to talk about their favorite charities and rescue organizations in the book. So, what I wanted to accomplish was kind of raise awareness through humor, and then share, organizations that were meaningful to each of these contributors, as well as, donate. I'm doing with this book 50% of the royalties to the Humane Society of the United States. So I think on, kind of a global, national, and then local level, everyone's kind of winning.
Yeah, and we're big proponents of animal rescue. I do a lot of work with animal rescue organizations and former president of our local Humane Society, so I can definitely appreciate that. And we've had Wayne Pacelli on the show as well, and it's always great to give back, so we applaud you for that. Well, let me ask you one more time on that topic, delve into it a little bit further, because I'm really fascinated about that whole process. What was the turnaround times as far as when the initial begging started, e-begging started, to the actual time they got the stories to you?
The window closed really, really fast because, a lot of the majority of these writers are juggling a lot of projects. So they have multiple book contracts. They have a lot of touring and traveling they have to do. They're usually, doing a lot of media outreach. They're also probably writing blogs and, newspaper columns or host radio shows. So there was a short turnaround, probably of about 6 to 8 months, but that included, them being able to write the essay, turning it in, and then I did a first edit of those pieces because I'm a contributor to the anthology, but I'm also the editor of it. And then my editor at Penguin, who's just wonderful, a huge dog lover, then saw the essays. I kind of put them into an order, and she went through them as well. So then I had to go back to each contributor and, share, what our thoughts were on how hopefully we can improve those pieces and then get them in a great working order. So, it was, for a book of this size and with this many people, it was a pretty short turnaround, but everybody was amazingly cooperative, and I just, again, I was amazed at how wonderfully well written and cooperative everyone was. Because sometimes, you wonder if you get a huge group of really busy, creative people together, if it's, it's a bad analogy, but be like herding cats, but it was actually, it was more like dog walking.
Absolutely true. Obviously, it's great books. A big kudos on that, and I just love the format and the different contributors to it. It's that whole process is fascinating because, like you said, it's these people have multiple book deals and radio and TV and film and whatever else they have going on. It's trying to corral them all. I couldn't imagine doing it, so you did a good job putting it all together.
Thanks. Yeah, and it's funny because you mentioned, it's interesting, someone like Bruce Cameron, who's so busy and so successful. His essay is one of my favorites. It's from the point of view of the dog, or of the owner talking to his dog just on a typical Saturday, and just kind of the beauty of the routine that one goes through during a normal weekend day with your dog. So I just loved everyone in a totally unique way. So I think people will too. I hope they do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Bruce's essay, make sure that if you start feeding your dog bacon, that you remember you can't switch to oatmeal.
Yeah, the dog. And I love the way he captured that. That's true. The dog always looks like it's eating, like it's skinning a tomato. If you give it something that it despises, it's like it can just wolf everything down and then all of a sudden come to a complete stop and is like, what the heck is this? and oatmeal is no dog's favorite. Just I don't think it's too many people's favorite either.
No, it's usually the grilled vegetables on the plate get eaten last by us humans.
That's exactly right, yeah. And I try a lot of like carrots, but my dogs have always loved carrots, so that I know at least they're getting some health in there too.
Yeah, that's a great, the small baby wash carrots. My dog, we have a Schnauzer, and he just loves those. That's his little treat.
It's like a win-win, isn't it? I don't know why dogs love carrots, but I'm like, go for it, more so than I.
Yeah, absolutely, especially cooked carrots. I don't want any part of that.
No, I'm out. It's like that with the cooked peas. Ever since I was little in a cafeteria, I can't do that at all.
No, sorry. Sorry for our vegetarian listeners. Leave that one off.
Yeah, I apologize.
All right. Well, Wade, we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we're going to come right back and continue our conversations with Wade Roush. Talk to him about his book, I'm Not the Biggest Bitch in This Relationship. So we're excited about that. So everybody stay tuned. We're going to come right back. You're listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio.
Sit. Stay. We'll be right back after a short pause. Well, 4 to be exact.
It's the holidays at PetSmart, so come one and all. There are hundreds of gifts for pets big and pets small. Toys only at PetSmart, so special and new. They'll love the gifts. You'll love the value. Hurry to PetSmart today for your very best friend and save 30 to 50% before the holiday ends.
The holidays are just around the corner. Go to PetLifeRadio.com/PetSmart and save up to 30% on awesome gifts for the pets and pet people in your life. Toys, collars, leashes, PetSmart gift cards, treats, and more. So shop early and save money. Go to PetLifeRadio.com/PetSmart today.
Love your pets but wish their medications were a lot less expensive? They are at 1-800-PET-MEDS. You'll not only save on flea and heartworm medications, but on prescriptions for arthritis, incontinence, thyroid, and more. And you get fast service, free shipping, and a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Plus, our licensed pharmacists ensure accuracy, monitor drug interaction, and more. See why over 5 million people have trusted their pet's health to 1-800-PET-MEDS, America's largest pet pharmacy. Call now or order online.
Go to PetMeds.com/lucky, LUCKY, to get 10% off any order and free shipping on orders of $39 or more at PetMeds.com.
I don't make any decisions about who to hire without going to Angie's List first.
You'll find reviews on home repair to healthcare, written by people just like you.
With Angie's List, I know who to call, and I know the results will be fantastic.
Angie's List, who you can trust.
Go to Angie'sList.com/rights and get 25% off any subscription. That's Angie'sList.com/rights, WRITES.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. This is your host, Tim Link. And we're here with Wade Roush. Talk to him about his latest book, I'm Not the Biggest Bitch in This Relationship. Now, Wade, I always ask the authors a little bit about the book, but then I follow it up with one quick question. And if all the things that are inside the book and all the stories are inside the book, is there one particular piece when editing the book or writing your own essay that you came away with that you got a real aha moment about, or something that you learned the most from putting all this together?
Yeah, there's actually, it's a great question. There's a couple of essays that really changed my perspective a lot. One is a piece by Bob Smith, who is a comic who has appeared on the Tonight Show and also done a lot of the joke writing and writing for the Oscar telecast, and he's a legend in comedy and a very funny guy. But he wrote a really sweet piece about battling Lou Gehrig's disease and rescuing a dog that really had a lot of fright of loud noises, and he lives in New York City. And it's an essay just about taking his dog for a walk and the importance that it has on so many levels for both of them as they try and kind of get through every day. And it just made me incredibly thankful for, my health, and I think what dogs provide us, just that amazing unconditional love and loyalty. And that was an essay when I first read it that really kind of, shook me to my core, and I just think it's a beautiful piece. And I love there's an author in the book, Jill Connor Brown, who wrote the conclusion, and she's known as the Sweet Potato Queen. She's a huge Southern author with a massive worldwide following. She actually has Sweet Potato Queen chapters all around the world. And she wrote a piece about rescuing a dog in the middle of a highway that was hit and taking it home, and the funny stories of her husband's reaction to accepting another dog into their life. And then the story of how when she was able to finally take it to her vet, there was a dog that had gotten loose because its mother had gotten ill and been sent to the Mayo Clinic for cancer treatment. And the dog had tried to escape to find her, and the woman recovered and the dog was finally reunited because Jill had saved it. And it's this beautiful kind of 360 story of, the impact of what we can do if we just stop to help an animal that's in need. And it's a really wonderful story and I think an incredible conclusion. And I have to say I love Chunk Handler's essay that starts the book. It's a little edgy, it's a little dirty, but that's him and that's Chelsea, and I think it really kind of sums up the humor in the book as well. So, top to bottom, I think they're all amazing.
Yeah, they are. They're all very unique, different angles, different ways of writing. I love that, and obviously having Chunk and Chelsea involved in it is a good choice as well.
It was, yeah, and she was very kind. She gave it a huge shout out on her show a couple of weeks ago. So we were really thankful and pleased she did that. So. It's great to have them as part of the book too.
Yeah, great job on that. So from the reader standpoint, is there a takeaway that you'd like the readers to walk away with after reading the book?
Yeah, I want that. So we talked about at the start of the show. I want people really to kind of be united through humor and, hope their awareness about especially rescue animals is lifted through laughter as well. And I really think the common bond is that we all do kind of wacky things with our pets and have these unusual relationships. And I think everyone can relate to the stories in this book because we all share that insanity in some way or another. We just don't often discuss it at work with everybody.
Exactly. And so this is a great way for everybody to share those stories and form that common bond. So I think that's a great way to tie it all together.
It is. It's been, the book's gotten such great feedback so far. I've been really pleased, and I know, so many people. This is like their like go-to stuffing stocker for the holidays that they can put in because everybody has dogs that they love and I think have relationships similar to the ones that the authors are writing about. So that's the biggest takeaway. I think we're all united by kind of the insanity a little bit.
All the unite insanity. I like that. I think it's a theme for life.
It is, yeah. It's how we get through every day, isn't it?
Exactly. As I mentioned at the top of the show, you have written many memoirs over the years, and I'm curious about how putting together a book like this and editing a book like this with all the different essays, putting it in an anthology, is different than putting together a memoir that you've done in the past.
Totally different. This is, doing an anthology is almost like running a small business because you're in charge of every aspect of it. You're writing yourself, you're kind of managing, you're editing, you're, getting a fundraising component together with it. There's so much involved. And with, I have 4 memoirs out, and with those, it's kind of just you sitting alone and kind of chugging through for a year a book on your own with really not much other interaction with the world. So there's a big difference, and I like them both. I really feel like I learned a lot. I think I met some incredible people who I can call friends, and that's been a wonderful experience. And and now I'm back to kind of just writing my books again. So I think I'll do another anthology at some point in the future. And we might do cats or something we've been talking about since this book's done so well. So we're going to look into that. But it's a very different experience. But I have to say I like both. It's worked out beautifully.
Yeah, I can see both of them having their rewards and their challenges as well. And I think you read my mind when you talked about putting together a book like this on cats. That's a nice natural segue. And
it is, yeah, it is. Although we'll title-wise, we'll have to do some work on exactly how we follow that up with those. But I think it would be a fun follow-up, and it's interesting because so many authors I reached out to are cat lovers and cat owners and cat people. So I think that makes sense because I think people I would do a similar thing with some of the the humorous anecdotes about life with cats, and I think it would accomplish what this book did, but in an entirely different vein from what I understand from these cat folks. They kind of have a different experience on the neuroticism, so I think that would be interesting to explore.
I think so. I write about cats and dogs and all kinds of different animals. And, of course, we have our Schnauzer, our boy Buzz, with us inside the house. But I've got 10 feral or semi-feral cats that we've rescued and gotten spayed or neutered. And now we take care of them outside. And believe me, when Buzz goes out for his evening time outside and we've got the 10 cats out there, it's me playing Wild Bill Hickok trying to corral everybody together.
See, that's interesting because that's exactly what my mom and dad did where we lived. My father still looks after, I think he's got 6 or 8 as he calls them, semi-feral cats, 2 of whom have made it inside and are much more domesticated, but the other 6 are right there kind of all around the perimeter of the house at all times, and that's exactly what they did. And they've taken each one in and able to corral them and get their shots and either be spayed or neutered and then brought back. And it's just been they are incredibly loyal pets to them. So it's interesting. My dad has a whole slew of other stories regarding those animals. So I think it would be interesting to do. So good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we definitely help out where we can. We love the animals, and so that's great. And you've got just so many opportunities for books. Right there, it just tweaked my mind a little bit about writing a book from your dad's perspective.
I think so too. Yeah, I think it would be interesting. And in fact, I'm going down to see him tomorrow. Actually, in the Ozarks. I live in Michigan right now, so we're going to go down and. So I'll be surrounded by animals when I'm down there, but it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I think he likes getting a couple hours break anyway from the feeding and everything.
So you can help him out.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, Wade. Well, we're getting ready to come to the end of the show, but tell everybody where they can find out more about you and the book and what's going on.
They can find out more about the book and me at my website, which is Wade Rouse, WadeRouse.com. And this anthology is everywhere right now, either at your favorite indie bookstore or Barnes & Noble, Amazon. It's in a larger Costco, and it's currently at Target right now as well. So I think it's readily available if just go out and pick up a copy or 2 for the holidays and for yourself, and be on the lookout because I've got a couple more books coming out in the next year or so. So very exciting.
Yeah, well, keep us posted on what's going on. Of course, we'll follow you on your website, WadeRouse.com. And everybody pick up a copy of the book. It's a fantastic book. It's called I'm Not the Biggest Bitch in This Relationship by Wade Rouse. So we appreciate you coming on board today, and we look forward to speaking with you somewhere down the road.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right. Well, we're coming to the end of the show today. So I'd like to thank everyone for listening to Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Once again, we were talking to Wade Rouse. Pick up a copy of the book, I'm Not the Biggest Bitch in This Relationship. It's fun. It's humorous. It's a great little anthology. So thanks to Wade for being on the show today. And I want to thank our sponsors and producers for putting on such a fabulous show and making this all possible. To find out more about me, Tim Link, and other guests I've interviewed on the Animal Rights Show and the stories in my blog, you can find it all on Pet Life Radio. Just go to PetLifeRadio.com, click on the Animal Rights tab, and download some of the other interviews, download this interview, and read some of the blogs while you're there. And while you're at it, be sure to check out all the other hosts and shows on Pet Life Radio. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas for the show, you can email me at tim@PetLifeRadio.com. That's tim@PetLifeRadio.com. And I will do my very best to answer all your questions, entertain all your comments, and get the people you want to hear from the most on the show. So until next time, write a great story about the animals in your life, share it in a blog, article, or in a book, and who knows, you may be the next guest on Animal Rights on Pet Life Radio. Thanks for joining.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.